Hello, we're Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile, and here's our thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong.
Or as I like to call it, Yoshi versus Donkey Kong.
Evil, what are you doing?
Review bombing the movie because the WB is canceling the Snyderverse.
Wait, you do know that review bombing doesn't actually involve bombs, right?
I, have to retrieve some packages.
Godzilla vs. Kong is the epic kaiju showdown directed by Adam Wingard, best known for You're Next, The Guest, Blair Witch, and Death Note. The screenplay is by Eric Pearson, known for Thor Ragnarok, and MonsterVerse writer Max Borenstein. This is the fourth film in Legendary Pictures' MonsterVerse. This brings the total number of Godzilla movies to 36, and the number of Kong movies to 12. It is also the third Godzilla film to be completely produced by Hollywood. King Kong debuted 87 years ago, and Godzilla 66 years ago.
They're getting old, but digital de-aging has done wonders.
The greatest monsters in cinema history collide for only the second time. The first was 59 years ago.
That's how Mother made us eat our vegetables.
You know what? You're welcome. So let's see if Godzilla vs. Kong is a 5-star slobber knocker. Because what is a king to a god? The movie takes place 5 years after Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and 51 years after Kong, Skull Island.
Notice how they only call him Kong. They know who's the real king.
Kong and his protectors undertake a journey into uncharted terrain to find his true home, and with them is Gia, a young orphaned girl with whom Kong has formed a special bond. But they find themselves in the path of a cranky Godzilla.
Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people and we don't know why.
Maybe it's all the nukes and oxygen destroyers you keep dropping on him.
Not to mention, you also blew up his bitchin' bachelor pad. We're the real monsters.
The epic clash between the two titans, instigated by the evil Apex Cybernetic CEO, Walter, is only the beginning of the mystery that lies deep within the core of the Earth. Will a conspiracy wipe out both creatures and take back the planet once and for all? The story is simple and serviceable.
I don't want too much plot getting in the way of them punching each other.
So much happened so quickly in the 2-hour runtime that the movie flies by, while the motivation for why the two titans fight is kinda weak. The story isn't too insulting and wraps up the MonsterVerse in a 300-foot bow. In Kong's corner is Dr. Eileen Andrews, his own personal Jane Goodall, and her adopted daughter, Gia. Sadly, a storm wiped out the natives on Skull Island, and she's all that's left. She's also deaf and has taught Kong to use sign language, which was a great idea.
Wow, just like Coco.
You think he's trying to tell us something?
Alexander Skarsgård plays Dr. Nathan Lind, a monarch geologist who has written a book on the Hollow Earth. It's his job to get Kong and Apex's crew to this mysterious place. His character is very underwritten and forgettable. What was I talking about? In Godzilla's corner is the returning Madison Russell, played by Millie Bobby Brown. She's one of Godzilla's last remaining advocates after the world decided he turned heel.
What? Who booked this crap?
There's also Madison's friend Josh Valentine, played by Julian Dennison, who was great in Hunt for the Wilderpeople and Deadpool 2. Sadly, he's thrown in for a couple moments of comedic relief, and not much else. They team up with former Apex technician, widow, and conspiracy theorist Bernie, played by Brian Tyree Henry. Surprisingly, him being a widow somehow saved the day.
Here's one to us lonely, drunken losers.
Together, the kids uncover a plot against Godzilla that takes them all the way to Hong Kong.
Where are their parents?
Speaking of Madison's father, it's not the first time Kyle Chandler has acted in a King Kong movie. Little time is spent developing the human characters because we're here for the monsters. However, the cast does well with what they're given. Godzilla in this movie kind of takes a back seat. He really only pops up for the big fights. While Godzilla is the animal driven by instinct, Kong is further developed and becomes more human.
Gone are the days of Kong trying to score with a tiny blonde woman. I have such a confusing boner.
Kong has always been sympathetic, but it's pushed further. Thanks to sign language, we now know what he's going through. Sadly, Skull Island is now a big monarch base.
The poor monkey misses his family and needs a new home.
Now, when this movie was announced, there were two issues. Number 1, Godzilla is 393 feet tall, and Kong is 104 feet tall. So he's too short.
Sorry, Bubbles, you gotta be this tall to ride Skull Mountain.
Number 2, after Godzilla's vulgar display of power in King of the Monsters, Kong would get smoked by Godzilla's atomic powers. However, in Skull Island, they mention this version of Kong is still growing. In fact, he's now 336 feet. That's right, Kong's gone from climbing skyscrapers to being a skyscraper.
They grow up so fast.
Our little boy hit puberty. He's got hair in places he already had hair.
And while Godzilla has his atomic breath, King Kong has these thumbs. Kong wields an ancient battle axe made from either Godzilla's spiny scales or from a special material found in the hollow earth that can deflect and harness Godzilla's energy.
See? Kong went for the head. He's no stupid monkey.
Overcompensating much? Why does he need an axe when he can fling his feces?
And the 1962 film, Electricity, made Kong stronger.
Electricity makes him stronger?
Andy, I have so many questions.
If I got struck by lightning, I'd be pissed off too.
Originally, it was Godzilla versus Frankenstein, but they kept the electricity thing. In the new movie, Kong does get zapped by electricity, but it's done in a way that works and makes sense. I thought it was a nice nod.
And yes, Godzilla does get deep-throated.
While there really is no satisfying reason for these two to fight, other than there can only be one alpha, the fights and visuals are great. This is the best Godzilla and Kong have looked in this MonsterVerse. Some fans criticized the previous movie's fight scenes for always taking place at night and being shrouded in too much dust, fire, smoke, snow, or other elements. Well, 90% of the fight scenes in this movie take place during the day and are nicely lit. There's nothing stopping us from seeing these monsters go at it.
Except when they find out they both have mommies named Mothra.
So, is there a true winner? Yes. And no. There is a way you could spin it to where the loser can be the winner. When you see it, you'll understand. If you've been paying attention, you can probably guess what Apex Cybernetics was building, and the mechanics behind how it works was convoluted, yet interesting. In the end, both titans get their moments to shine, and the main event is the entertaining monster mash we hoped for. Godzilla vs. Kong fails to properly set up why they fight other than... we just want to see it!
You see, King Kong shouted at the ocean, and Godzilla took that personally.
However, the visuals and monster mayhem is breathtaking.
I literally choked on someone's popcorn.
Psst. Hey, let's be real. No one is watching this movie for deep human characters, a sophisticated plot, or messages about the environment, overpopulation, and war. The human drama and character development is thrown to the side. Imagine it's WrestleMania 3, it's Hogan versus Andre, but we spend half the match watching some ants running around the locker room. Director Adam Wingard knows this movie is titled Godzilla vs. Kong, and he delivers on that spectacle, and then some. The human characters are obviously overshadowed by the title characters, but this is an epic love letter to the history of these titans. The visuals are the highlight, and the best in the MonsterVerse series. The Hollow Earth was a beautiful place, and essentially Monster Island, but in the center of the planet. Godzilla vs. Kong is big dumb fun. Who cares why a dinosaur and a monkey want to fight?
The real winner is us. Because I snuck in.
So, where does the MonsterVerse go from here? Well, Legendary Pictures' contract with Toho expired in 2020. If this is the end, it's the perfect way to go out. Hopefully we don't have to wait 60 years to see another match between the God and King. Because we'll be dead. This has been Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile.
Thanks for liking and subscribing.
We'll see you next time.